Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Thursday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We've got a good show lined up. It's our normal lineup on Thursday. We're going to kick it off here in just a second with our good buddy, Heisman Trophy voter out of Jacksonville, Brent Beaird, and then we'll have our Baker Sporting Goods High School Roundup with a couple of high school teams locally here playing volleyball Saturday to go play for the state title. And then football's got one more regular season game, and then we kick off playoffs there. But let's go straight to the Titan MR hotline. We're joined by our good friend, Brent Beaird. You can follow him on Twitter at Brent Beaird. Good morning, Brent. How are you?
Shane, I'm doing well. Good to be with you. And really a big week of football. And I say that because we had MAC last night, and we've got Thursday night games tonight, and frankly, some really important games tomorrow night, all that before we get to Saturday.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you brought up the MAC thing because yesterday I had JC on and we were talking and he was tired because he stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning watching the election. I went to bed about 8:30 because I was like, ain't nothing I can do about it. I'm going to sleep. And I said it would have been not. I was joking around with him. I said, it sure would have been nice if we'd had some action on last night. And I'll be dang, I turned on the TV. I had no idea they were playing last night. I turned on the TV and there it was. But man, yeah, college football on a Wednesday night is good stuff.
It is, and people may not realize this. There were like 6 games on last night. I mean, it was just unbelievable all across the dial. And the great thing is, with the MAC coming back, we're going to get a steady diet of that. So we'll start, I think, next week having some Tuesday and Wednesday games.
Yeah, I think it's great for that league. They should do that all year, no matter if it's a pandemic or not. Brent, before we get into the SEC and obviously Florida, Georgia, huge game up in South Bend, Indiana. The Clemson Tigers going in without their starting quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not sure if any of their defensive starters are back for this game or not, but this is a huge, huge game for Notre Dame to try to finally beat somebody worth the darn. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, Notre Dame has won to 12 in a row. In their last 32 games, they're 29-3, but they really haven't caused a lot of people to look at them that much beyond the norm because of what you just said. Now, they are going to be without Brandon Lindsey, one of their better wide receivers, but they have got a really good, it's no frills, frankly, a football team that runs the ball well behind 2 All-American tackles and Liam Einberg, and they've got a good quarterback in Ian Book. He's not great, but he's good. And Clemson is going to have to force Notre Dame in a 3rd and long and Book to be able to beat them. At that point, they had 5 sacks against Georgia Tech, but I know under Jeff Collins, Tech's still struggling. As you mentioned, Trevor Lawrence is out, and also defensive tackle Tyler Davis is out, and Mike Jones, their linebacker, is out. Uiagalelei, their quarterback, obviously played very well in that win over Boston College. But he's also got the weapon, Travis Etienne, who is easily very probably along with Najee Harris, the best running back in the nation, Amari Rodgers at wide receiver. And again, Uiagalelei threw for 350 yards, 73% passing with that. So, and if Clemson wins Saturday, it will be 29 straight games in the ACC. And again, we know Notre Dame's not a member yet, but they are for this year. Shane, here's the bottom line for this game. I think Clemson wins this game going away. Clemson is an elite team. Notre Dame is a good, solid team. I like Ian Book, but they do not have a vertical passing game. They do not have speed on the perimeter. And Clemson is not going to be intimidated by touchdown Jesus and being up at Notre Dame at all. And that's just the way this is. I mean, it's a now look again. If Notre Dame has a game of the year, that's not saying that they couldn't win the game. And both of them are probably going to end up in the ACC championship game anyway, which leads you to believe could there actually be two teams from the ACC to get in there? That's possible. But at this point, I think Clemson goes up and takes care of business.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Another game that's a good one out there if you're a college football fan that a lot of people probably aren't going to watch is BYU, who's ranked, is playing Boise State, a ranked team. BYU, if you haven't seen their quarterback play, folks, Zach Wilson is a phenomenal player. I love watching him play.
Zach Wilson's arguably up there with the better quarterbacks than Kyle Trask and Mac Jones. Now, the exciting thing about this thing is this game is tomorrow night at 9:45 on FS1. So, and by the way, Miami plays tomorrow night. So it's one of the more interesting Friday nights that we have had in a while, frankly. Listen, Zach Wilson struggled a little bit against Western Kentucky, but he still threw for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns. Completed only 56% of his passes, but they still scored 40-plus points. He's got all kinds of weapons around him. Boise has, frankly, a couple of quarterbacks. Jack Sears is one of those guys, and both of them are really good. A lot of people think that Boise may actually win this game. Boise, they missed out on a Year 6 bowl last year because they lost to BYU. But I'm glad you brought this up because for any football fans, it's certainly worth it to see Wilson. And this will be a good game with high stakes.
Yeah, because Zach Wilson is an unbelievable. I've liked him for the last 2 years. As soon as I saw him play, I was like, this dude is a player. And he's projected, I think, as the 3rd quarterback taken in the draft.
Probably, yeah.
Going down to the SEC, a lot of teams are off this week. Auburn's off. They had a huge win against LSU. Probably the best game Auburn's played all year. Would you agree?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They stayed within who they are, particularly Bo Nix did. Bo's an enigma. He has zero interceptions at home, and they played at home. He has 10 interceptions on the road. So they ran for 206 yards. LSU had 57. By the way, KJ Britt, their linebacker, is supposed to be back by the end of the year. Their line of scrimmage was solid. Auburn off this week, but see, here's the thing with Auburn that is so maddeningly inconsistent. They did what they did against LSU. That obviously is struggling, and a lot of people thought LSU quit in that game at some point, which is not good for Ed Orgeron. But Auburn plays Mississippi State at Mississippi State next, and look, they could blow State out, or they could lose. I mean, that's really kind of what you've got there because you don't ever know with Auburn. But there's no doubt it was a big win for them over a struggling LSU team. And as a matter of fact, and he may just be playing the game, but Orgeron said that Miles Brennan, who is obviously their better quarterback, but better than the Finley kid who was against Auburn, will probably miss the Alabama game too. So he may be playing cat and mouse with that, as SEC coaches do. But if Finley has to play against Alabama, it could be a similar game like it was against Auburn.
Yeah, no doubt. And Alabama's off as well, getting ready for LSU. We know what they did to Mississippi State. Let's jump to another intriguing game in the league. Tennessee, coming off a bye, is going to be playing the Arkansas Razorbacks, who lost to A&M but gave up a good fight.
They're both 2-3, so they both need a win. Tennessee could take advantage of the Arkansas secondary that's struggling some. Tennessee is last in the SEC. in converting third downs. They have not thrown for over 200 yards in 3 of the last 4 games. They had a week off, so maybe they can get some things straight. 3 losses in a row after winning basically 8 in a row. So they're number 12 in the league in total offense. How long do they stay with Garantano is going to be interesting with that. Arkansas played A&M pretty well, over 220 yards rushing. Now, I don't know if Tennessee's going to be able to defend Treylon Burks, who's 6'3" and one of the better receivers in the league. Can Tennessee run the ball? The Hogs are number 11 in the league in rushing yards allowed. They're going to have to defend Josh Palmer, who's a pretty good wide receiver for Tennessee. Henry To'oTo'o will be the best defensive player on the field. The Tennessee middle linebacker Rakeem Boyd is back, which is good to see. He had over 100 yards against A&M. But you're right. I mean, to me, this thing's a toss-up and will mean a lot for whoever wins it.
Yep. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. We're speaking with Brent Beaird here on the Titan MR hotline. We got a Facebook Live comment here brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. It comes from our good friend Rick. He says, Shane, you can't see me, Brent, but he goes, Shane, isn't red a Georgia color? Who dressed you this morning? I got a red T-shirt on, Brent. I didn't even think about it. So speaking of red, let's get to the game. You know, one of the biggest games Dan Mullen's coached since this game last year. You know, I think people forget how big this game was last year.
True.
Give us some news and notes and however you think this thing's going to play out.
Well, I think the keys for Florida are going to be make Stetson Bennett beat them by first stopping the run or at least controlling it and causing him to do so. Now listen, if Bennett, and your stat to think about is, in the Alabama game, Bennett threw 40 times, they ran 30. That can't happen. If that happens, Florida, I think, will win comfortably, so they've got to watch their balance. Now, the Gator defense has also got to get off the field on third down. That's been a real bugaboo for them, but they really improved dramatically in the win last week. That made a big difference against Missouri. They've got to get Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts double-digit touches. I think that's going to be important. They don't need to take the ball out of Kyle Trask's hands at crucial times, i.e. the fumble in the A&M game of Malik Davis, and I don't want to pile on Malik Davis. I still think he's a good running back, can really help Florida. But when the game's on the line, you need to keep the ball in your best player's hand. And speaking of running backs, Wright and Damian Pierce, I think, are the 2 better ones that they've got. And that's going to be interesting to see how much that they can win. And I think, to your point, they've got to believe they can win this game. Georgia knows they can win this game. Florida thinks they can win this game. And that's a big difference. Do you remember last year, Shane, in the first half? Florida was playing like they were in quicksand. That they need to get started off quickly in this game. So I think those are about 6 keys for Florida as we look at Saturday.
Yeah, we got a Facebook Live comment here, and it's brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. And if you remember last year, at the beginning, that first drive or two, Brent, we had some issues getting the plays called in, and Chris says, make sure the play call sheets match, because I want to say the wide receiver coach, I don't know if it was Billy, was signaling a certain play that Dan didn't call. I can't remember the whole situation, but it was not a good look.
No.
And it kind of screwed up that first couple of drives. Dan also wants to know, Brent, what's the latest on who is out for this game? I guess from both teams. I know Georgia had a bunch of people banged up against Kentucky. We do know Richard LeCount, who had the motorcycle accident. I believe he's out of the hospital, which is good news, but he's definitely out. Got any updates on injuries?
Yeah, and some of these are almost game time things, frankly. to try to decide where they're going to be. Jordan Davis, the nose tackle, we think that he is going to be out at this point. We're not real sure about some of these. Now, Quay Walker had a neck injury, and we think he's going to play. Tyreek Stevenson, we're not even sure what injury he had, but so that's a little bit of a question mark. My biggest question mark is George Pickens. He had a pectoral muscle situation, so that they were going to reevaluate him. Now, obviously, Kirby's going to be very close to the vest in these situations. Ben Cleveland had a neck injury, but they think he's probably going to play. Also, Kenny McIntosh had a knee injury, but he may play a little bit in the game too. So, but yes, LeCount had my understanding is he had like 2 vehicles that were involved in that dirt bike situation. So he's got a concussion and bruised ribs. So listen, Richard LeCount's he's just glad to be alive. Frankly, no in that kind of situation. So, but again, those are important injuries for Georgia. They've got depth on that defense, but at the same time, you can't lose a lot of players along that line either. Now, obviously, Zach Carter's out for the first half. I'm going to be fascinated to see what happens there, if it's going to be Gervin Dexter. And I tell you one thing to watch for here. Jeremiah Moon is 6'6". Dexter is 6'6". In the Alabama game, Bama has a lot of humongous defensive linemen, and they banded down 7 of Stetson Bennett's passes. So I think what those guys are going to do is they're going to get in the passing lanes, put their hands up, and try to do the same thing. Bennett is listed at 5'11", and Shane, you know how listings go. Right. What does that mean? He's actually 5'9", maybe. But look,
he's a short guy, no doubt.
But look, I like him. I think he does a good job. But my question is, and frankly, Kyle Trask was in this boat last year. That this year he's a Heisman candidate. But I think one of the big things is, can they keep Bennett playing within himself so he doesn't get uncomfortable? And that's what Florida wants to do.
Yeah, we got a text here on the Titan MR text line. It comes from our good friend Daryl over in Green Coast Springs. He says, Shane, could you tell Brent I'll miss seeing him before the game Saturday? And what was his first Florida-Georgia game?
Well, that's a great question. I've been here since '85 and gone into media in the early '90s. It would probably be, I'm dating myself here a little bit, but probably, for whatever reason, I remember, I think it was a '97 game. I hate to bring up bad memories, but when Georgia won, and I equate that to, it was like people that had just been released from prison after 20 years. It was that kind of reaction from Georgia fans. And again, I know this is the 40th anniversary of Run Lindsey Run. That'll be brought up, I know, a good bit over the last few days. But that's a great question, Daryl. But that '97 game is probably one of the first ones I go to. I'll never forget and I'll think of the year when we hang up. But the year that it was in the old, it was before they redid the Gator Bowl. I was basically a sideline reporter in some ways, because I was giving reports for, I think it was CBS, and I was calling in at different times, like after touchdowns and so forth. And it rained the entire game. You may remember that one, Shane. And that old Gator Bowl was like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like an old dilapidated subway or something, rain dripping everywhere, water in your shoes, and the whole 9 yards. and I'm trying to make phone calls in between either lightning strikes or rain coming down. So things like that, you never. And Florida won that game, as a matter of fact. But things like that, you never forget, right?
Yeah, that's right. We got another Facebook Live comment here brought to you by Melton Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Scott wants to know, any ideas why Trask is pulled when he has momentum? And I think it needs to not happen in this game. I think he's referring to, they'll insert Emory Jones or Anthony Richardson for here's the thoughts. And like I said, I don't know the reasoning. I just know how coordinators think sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They want to throw a different look at the defense. It's no different than when offenses are rolling and then next play they line up in the Wildcat and they snap it to their tailback. That's kind of what Dan Mullen and them. They just want to keep Georgia thinking with different personnel groupings. So I think we'll see. I think you may see a little bit of Emory in this game for a running standpoint because it's going to give Georgia a different look. But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, and I think real quick, what's important about that is Emory needs to get a feel of what this game is like. And Shane, as you know, you can't beat experience. And by the way, real quick for Trask, that this is an interesting note. He is number one in the nation in success rate of passes 1 to 10 yards, which means, Georgia's going to try to take that away along that line too. But I will be interested with Jordan Davis out. I forgot to mention Julian Rochester, one of their first guys to go into the defensive line. He is out now with an ACL. So that's going to hurt them too. So Shane, my question to you is, how quickly will Georgia try to take away what Trask's number one is getting the ball to his receivers in that 1 to 10 yard range?
Well, the thing I think what Georgia's going to do is we all know Kirby's a good defensive guy. I think they're going to do what they do. They're going to try to pressure with their front four. Right. Play coverage. They do have some athletic dudes on the back end. This will be the best secondary we faced all year, even with LeCount out. And doesn't matter. Their backups are damn good. So I think they're going to see what they can do, how they can pressure Trask with their front four, or maybe bring 5. But here's what I will say: dudes ain't going to be as open as they've been, and we do rely on the 50-50 ball a lot in our passing game. We'll see if we can, out-muscle some of the Georgia defenders. I think we will, but it's going to be a good chess match. I got a quick text here, Brent, on the Titan MR text line. I don't know who it's from, but it just says, how many folks will be allowed at the game, and where is the cocktail party happening?
Probably, I don't know if anything really is going to happen around there. See, we're not having RBCD here, and the tendency, I think it's going to be about 8,500 per. So you're talking about, or maybe 9. So it's probably somewhere around 18 to 20,000, somewhere in there. But in this day and age, unfortunately, that's what we've got. But it's gonna be a very different atmosphere. There's certainly a lot of excitement here with flags and T-shirts and things like that, and a lot more excitement from the Florida fans than we've seen in a long time because they really think they can win the game and break the streak. But unfortunately, it will be limited, or that would have been a tremendous atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere is like no other. Real quick, Brent, we got about two minutes left. The fan bases for each one of these schools. I don't want to say there's pressure on Dan Mullen to finally beat Georgia, yada, yada, yada. But the pressure is there for Kirby to finally get over the hump, get back to Atlanta, beat Alabama. I mean, there's pressure from both fan bases. Do you see it more from one fan base than the other?
Well, not really. I mean, I think it's about I don't know if I can say it's about the same, but for Florida, it is. They've reached this point. Can they go further? So there's got to be some pressure on Mullen with that. I think he probably relishes a little bit of that too, in order to do it. But look, if Kirby loses, you're talking about losses to Alabama, losses to Florida, not being able to go to Atlanta with a quarterback that was not able to get them there. So I think ultimately, because of what the expectations were for Georgia and where Kirby would be, in some ways it'd be a devastating loss for them.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Brent, enjoy the game. Should be a damn good one, no question about it.
No doubt.
Appreciate you taking the time to join us. We'll talk to you next week. Hopefully we'll be talking about a big win for the Gators.
Yeah, Shane, always a pleasure. Enjoyed it much. Take care.
Yeah, that's Brent Beaird. You can follow him on Twitter at Brent Beaird. Does a tremendous job at Center State Bank. We put business first. We are the largest community bank in the state of Florida and understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 5 convenient Alachua County locations to serve you better. Center State Bank, member FDIC. When we come back, we're going to crank up the Baker Sporting Goods High School Roundup. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning.
This is Shane Matthews. Thank you for listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning. You can also check me out on Inside the Huddle with Steve Russell and the head ball coach Steve Spurrier. Tune in every Tuesday during football season on WRUF 98.1 FM, 8:50 a.m. at 10 o'clock in the morning, or find us on your favorite podcast platform. We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Ribs, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Davis Gainesville Chevrolet, Miapa Latin Cafe, Rap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Radware, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dar Shakow Insurance. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, you can visit our website, potupwithshane.com, and click the Advertise button or call Freddie at 352-284-3733. Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.
We're now joined by the head football coach of the Columbia Tigers, Brian Allen. Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Good morning. Everything's good this way, man.
Well, Coach, the season from a record standpoint is not what we're used to seeing from the Columbia Tigers. But how has your team progressed each week?
They've been right on pace, Shane, and that's been what we knew would have to happen this year. Just, again, from the sheer fact of us not getting going this summer, what we missed in the spring, getting a late start. Knew it was going to be a week-by-week deal for us as far as getting better. It seems like I've gone through 5 different quarterbacks in the process of trying to find the guy that can lead this group this year. Last week, went with the sophomore initially, and I don't know if he got popped good or if it was the varsity coaching style, but he was a little different than he was at Wakulla. And, just watching my guys and being attentive to everything that they're doing around me day in and day out. I have a receiver that, has turned out to be a pretty daggone good one that I saw just messing around in practice that could throw the ball 60 yards. And this team played us cover 3 last week and refused to get out of it. And I knew there were some things that we could do if we could get the ball downfield. And we were just struggling with the vertical ball. But then I have a kid that plays receiver that can sling it and never have worked with him once at the position. And he goes out and goes 3 for 4 for 3 touchdowns and 204 yards passing. That
3 completions?
Yeah, yes, sir. On
Wow.
3 completions, and the one that he missed, I think, was a drop. So, I think we found a guy back there now that can do some things with his arms. And in this era that we're in right now, I think everybody that we've played of the 6 teams has had a dual threat kid that was mobile as well. And, this kid's 6'4", 200 and can do some things after the catch, but he also can do some things back there at quarterback that again, enables us now offensively to use these talented receivers that we have and give them the ball. And, we're a different looking group. with this kid back there, and we brought a special guy that we have on defense to receiver that where we lost him at playing quarterback, we just gained another pretty good one that came over from the defensive side. So things look a little different than they have through the first 6.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So you always play a tough schedule. Obviously, you played the Madison County, Jacksonville Lee, Trinity Christian, all been pretty competitive games. And now it's getting closer to the playoffs. Are you pleased with? I mean, you call the plays, I believe, offensively, but you're a defensive dude, man. You played in the league on the defensive side of the ball. Are you pleased with your defense so far?
Well, it's been Shane again in this crazy year. Just got hit this week with the kid that had to be my starting running back due to injuries. Lost him. He started the last 2 games. Lost him on Monday for exposure to COVID. We've been beat up at the linebacker position all year. Get a kid back that led the team in tackles last year, even after he got injured in week 7, still ended up leading the team in tackles. Lost him yesterday to an exposure. So defensively, we've been depleted from the standpoint of losing guys from injuries or now the exposures that's starting to now finally hit our varsity. That it's been crazy, but our defense, for the most part, has played really good football. The thing that's been bad for them is it's been 3 and out, come back on the field, 3 and out, come back on the field, 1 and out, come back on the field. That we really haven't given those guys an opportunity to play fresh. So with last week, second half, having some sustainable drives, letting our guys get refreshed. They played good football, when they've had the opportunity to do that. I think it's really going to help with us being able to have the ball offensively more for our defense. Heck, we're not even able to go to the sideline and get on the echo system to look at mistakes. They're back on the field so fast. So, I think with this new look and what's happening now, they're going to be even better than they were through the first 6.
You got one more regular season game, right?
No, we start our play-in Friday.
Oh, this Friday. Who you got?
Yes, sir. We have Inglewood coming to our place this Friday.
I don't know what Inglewood's doing this year, but I feel pretty good the Columbia Tigers will figure it out Friday night.
Well,
hey, so who if you beat Inglewood? I know you don't want to look ahead and all that stuff, but who would be your next round opponent?
Well, you know how we were taught. You don't look ahead to the next week, but you definitely peek here and there.
Right.
It'll be Ponte Vedra. They got the bye, so the winner of this one plays Ponte Vedra. Heck, we even win another week ahead, and it's going to be Gulf Breeze or Sea Breeze, I believe, is the week 3 matchup or week 2 real playoffs after the play-in. So it'll be one of them, and then I think the third round is a mainland once you get there. So and we got the play-in part of it, which I didn't ever think that we wouldn't get the play-in, but we got the play-in, and I'm happy about it from the scenario that Shane, every game will be home from the way they bracketed us. That we'll be either the top or the bottom team with the games that we play. So each of the games will be home. So
awesome.
We need another game so the play-in doesn't kill us because we need the time to get better. But I like the idea of being here at Columbia for each of those playoff games.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I just got to ask you: Are you skipping school today? You out at the Country Club of Lake City?
Well,
in that golf cart?
I wish that there was a way on this thing that I could flip my camera around. And I'm out here right now. We have a little system that I put in place that when kids have F's and D's, we have to come to the field and do what we call a beast. So there's 2 for every F and there's 1 for every D. So right now I'm holding them accountable to make sure they get every push-up, sit up, bear crawl, and crab crawl, and don't skip one. So that's what I'm doing today on the golf cart.
That's awesome, Coach. Well, good luck to the Tigers. We'll talk to you as the playoffs progress. Appreciate you joining the Baker Sporting Goods High School Roundup.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Roll Tigers.
Thank you for joining the Baker Sporting Goods High School Roundup.
We're now joined by head football coach at Eastside High School in his first year, Alex DeLeon. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing well.
So, Coach, this year one, I know it's tough to take over any kind of program, but with COVID and stuff going on, it's definitely difficult. You got your first win against Santa Fe. Talk about how the kids played, what it feels like to get your first victory.
First and foremost, I mean, the kids played great. The biggest thing we talked about is all season is just not beating ourselves. The last game we played before Santa Fe, we played Orange Park, had I believe 435 total yards on offense, and we had 6 turnovers. So you know as well as I know, you're not winning a lot of games with 6 turnovers. I don't care, how good of a football team you are. So, that was the biggest focus offensively was, not turning the ball over. Special teams, just letting those guys know how important it is. And I think kids and people lose hindsight of the importance of special teams at the high school level about just being able to flip the field, not taking it for granted, not just treating it like a transition. So we did a good job taking care of that. And then defensively, we've only allowed 1 explosive play, which resulted in 3 points and not 6. So that was the biggest thing, was just understanding not beating ourselves.
Yeah. Coach, taking over a program, are you a pretty young football team this year?
Yes, we're pretty young. We're playing with a lot of underclassmen. We're playing with a lot of freshmen. We're playing with a lot of sophomores. Our juniors and seniors are doing a heck of a job just, getting those guys into the fold and just showing them how to be a varsity football player.
We're getting close to the playoffs, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, usually, when you have to implement a new offensive system, defense or whatever, has the offense been ahead of schedule or more defense in your first year?
Both of us, what hurt us, what hurt everybody was losing a spring, especially
Correct.
When you're implementing a new defense, a new offense, which is what we've done. I mean, honestly, the first 4 weeks was pretty much us still, installing the offense and the guys, offense and defense, the guys understanding the lingo, the guys understanding, what we're trying to do offensively and defensively. So, the guys, you've seen the second half of the season that, offensively and defensively, that they're understanding what we're trying to do. So, it's been yep.
So let me ask this: for your first win, did you keep the ball? Did the kids present it to you, or you got it like in your office somewhere? Your first career win as a head coach?
Yeah. So they presented it to me. It was a humbling experience. Just one thing I've learned is you can't take a win for granted. Don't take wins for granted. It's hard to win, and I think people lose sight of the preparation that goes into it. So it was humbling to get the first win.
So who do you got Friday night?
We have GHS.
Okay, so a city rivalry game. That should be a good one, no doubt about it. You don't have to really get your kids fired up for that game, right?
No. They know what's at stake. They're excited about it. We're excited about it. It's good to go into that game with a win. So coming off of a win. So the guys are prepared and they're doing a good job preparing for Friday. And
then the following week, the playoffs start. So whose name did y'all pull out of the hat to play first round of the playoffs?
We have Denellen. So we're playing Denellen at home. Very good football team. We've already started watching them some film on those guys. They got a good quarterback. He looks like a H-back that can sling the football. So he really does. And they got some good skill positions. But right now, our biggest focus right now is beating GHS.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time to join the Baker Sporting Goods High School Roundup. Good luck to the Rams against the Hurricanes, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining Baker's Sporting Goods High School Roundup here on Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We're now joined by Dixie County Fair head football coach, LB Cravey. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, Shane. How's it going?
Doing well, man. Hey, you've had a pretty good year here, even with this tough situation with COVID and everything. You sit at 5-2 right now. How has the season gone? Are you pleased with the outcome so far?
Oh, I'm very pleased. We, like I said, like everybody else in the nation, we've been dealing with the COVID situation and here and there, but the boys have really rallied together and found ways to continue to get better every week. So you can't ask for more than that.
You got a pretty good little offense. I want to say you run the option. Have y'all been pretty productive all year offensively?
Yeah. We've actually been pretty 50-50 with our run and pass this year for the first time. We've run the option a lot, veer midline, and then that's opened up our passing game a lot because people are starting to have to respect it. And I've been able to throw the ball a lot and got a senior quarterback and a really good receiver that have some pretty good connections. So, yeah, I'd say our offense is doing really well.
Tomorrow night, you have your final regular season game against, I believe you said, North Florida Educational. Never really heard of that school. What do they look like on tape?
Oh, they're big and fast. They've got a lot of skilled athletes. They run a lot of stuff out of the gun, kind of spread the field out a little bit. And it's going to be another team that's got some speed that we're just going to have to contain.
And then in 2 weeks from tomorrow, the playoffs start here in the state of Florida. And unfortunately, the name that came out of the hat for the Dixie County Bears is not what you wanted to see, obviously, because you had a heck of a year. But your first round matchup is against the powerhouse of Madison County. Obviously, I know you and your kids are going to be up for the challenge, but wouldn't you rather see them after a couple of rounds and some wins in the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, ideally, it's kind of, we weren't shocked when we saw it, but it's been a really good motivator telling, just let the boys know. I mean, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And Madison County has been the best for a while. And I've been able to use it to motivate the boys to just come up, first thing, just jump out and hit the big guy. And they're all, practicing hard. It kind of makes you practice a little harder. That's the standard of what we're trying to get to. So it's actually benefited us as far as practicing to practice at that level. And, the boys they're ready for it.
And I know coaches don't want to look ahead, and I'm sure none of your kids are going to listen to the podcast here. But have you been already prepping for Madison County, watching tape on them?
A little bit. We got some on them, and we kind of. Good thing is this team we're playing is similar to Madison's offense, so we've been able to kind of mess around a little bit defensively and offensively with what we want to do without showing too much this week and stuff like that. But we've been prepping for them a little bit. But like I said, we preach to the boys and we preach to ourselves. We got North Florida this week, so we're getting ready for them.
Awesome. Well, LB, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Good luck in your final regular season game. Good luck against Madison County. We'll try to have you on before that big game. So good luck to the Bears.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
High School Roundup Thursdays brought to you by Baker Sporting Goods.
We're now joined by head volleyball coach at Newberry High School, Hank Roan. Good morning, Hank. How are you?
Good morning. Doing good, Shane. Thanks.
All right, Hank. Big battle between you and the Bell Bulldogs to go play for the state title. Y'all played Bell already once before this year and beaten them. What do you expect on this game on Saturday?
I expect to be highly energized. They're going to come in wanting a little revenge, I would say, to get back at us at our house. This didn't want to talk about it earlier, but this is what we both probably knew would probably happen if we played our games, which we did, and now here we are. And it's just going to be exciting, afternoon in Newberry. Yeah.
So when you scouting, and obviously probably their girls pretty well, what does Newberry have to do to win this match?
Well, I mean, last time their two big hitters had almost 60 kills. They had 52 kills against us. You're not going to stop them, but somehow we got to slow it down. We got to get more touches. We just got to play bigger at the net because they're going to come and they're going to swing hard and they're going to hit the spots. Very talented players. Their setter has set the ball well for them all year. So our biggest thing is that that we have to improve on is if we get a lead, we can't give them any hope because that team at Bell, I've seen them play. I've watch some highlights on Max Preps. You can go in and watch highlights on them and all that. And and then reading a couple articles, the coach said they were down this past week, 21-13, and they fought back to win 26-24. With us, we were up 13-3, 13-4, and, we lose 25-20 and win 25-22. So they're not going to give up. They're coached well. They're, some of their athletes are just phenomenal athletes, and they're gonna fight you to the last point.
So you got a lot of seniors on your team that both, all of them played for the state title last year. This week preparing for Bell, have you had to some coaches just, you can see it in their eyes, they're one game away to go back to play for a state title, or is it one of these deals that you're having to get on their tails this week a little bit?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we're fighting around our place is everybody's already given them the win. They missed the teachers, the student body, all that stuff. And I'm like, guys, we're not looking past Bell. You just need to talk about Bell. We're going to need to be focused on Bell. We're doing the same stuff we've been doing all year, Monday and Tuesday. We work them out hard. They're doing stadiums. They're doing workouts for about 45 minutes, and then we get into volleyball. Today we'll do more volleyball. We'll put our game plan in for Bell. From what I've seen of them and looking at our film and breaking it down, and and then we'll go for the unexpected. We'll put in, because he could look at our stats and say, hey, those two middles are the ones that are making all the points, and let's move our two outsides to middle and let's try to block them. So we'll even prepare for that. So we're going to try to prepare for everything they could throw at us, and just know that we're confident when we get in the game, because I think that's all you can do as a coach.
So then the winner of Newberry and Bell play who?
I would say a 95% or better shot of playing Sneeds. Sneeds just
who's Sneeds playing?
They're playing Baker County.
Okay.
But I really believe the winner of our game has an unbelievable shot to finally stop Sneeds at 7 in a row. They've won 7 1A championships in a row.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. All right, Hank. Well, for all the people that are going to be there at Newberry High School at 2:00 on Saturday, let's try to get this thing over in a hurry if possible. There's some other game kicking off about 3:30 that people want to watch.
Well, I can't promise that, but one thing is Bulldogs. They're both Bulldogs, so I'll leave it at that.
There you go. All right, that's Coach Hank Roan from the Lady Panthers Newberry volleyball team. Good luck to y'all, Coach. We appreciate you joining the program.
Hey, thanks, Shane.
Thank you for joining the Baker Sporting Goods High School Roundup.
We're now joined by Bell Lady Bulldog volleyball coach, Coach Drew Berry. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Coach, well, you're one game away from playing for a state title. You're playing against a team you're very familiar with, the Newberry Panthers. Talk a little bit about y'all played them, I think, once already this year. I think Newberry won. How did that game go?
It was a good game. They beat us 3-1, but all the games were very tight. They're a great program. They have some big girls. A lot of their girls play club ball. We have a few big girls too, and in that game, there's a lot of hitting, a lot of offense, both sides. So I expect the same thing. They're well coached. We fight to the end. So, it should be like a heavyweight fight, and what it should be at this time of the year.
Yeah, no doubt. One game away for playing for a state title. So when you look at Newberry, obviously y'all played them. You probably know some of the girls, played in, club tournaments against one another or with people some of the girls, what are y'all going to have to do from Bell's standpoint to stop Newberry from winning this match?
Kind of what we did the first time. We got to hit. We've got two outside hitters that one of them had 30 kills, the other one had 22 against them the first time we met. So we got to continue to do that. We got to hit. When we play offense, that's like with any good team. You play offense, the other team's having to play defense. So we got to continue to do that. Take care of some of the unforced errors that we had and serve receive better. And if we do that, we're going to be in the match.
Coach, leading up, practicing and getting prepared for Newberry with excuse me, with what's at stake, has it been tough to get your girls to focus this week, or they realize what's out there for them?
No, they realize 2 years ago we went and we played in the state finals match. You know, we lost to Sneads in the championship. So a lot of these girls were on that team. And last year we lost in the regional finals. We went in that game 27-1 and got upset. So they know that you can't look past anything, that the biggest game you play of the season is the next game on the schedule. So they know what's at stake on Saturday. This is the third time in their school history that we've been in the state Final Four. So they know what it means for the team, what it means for the community. So they're a group of girls that's going to go out and compete and give everything they got. So no, motivating them has not been a challenge.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time to join us on the Baker Sporting Goods High School Roundup. Good luck to the Lady Bulldogs. Should be a heck of a game there against the Lady Panthers. And at least someone locally will we be battling for the state title once again.
Yes, and I fully believe, you know, the winner of this will meet Sneads again. And I think the winner of this match can beat Sneads.
Awesome.
So I got a good feeling that one of our teams will win it this year. But I appreciate you having us here.
Absolutely. Good luck to y'all, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Gator Nation, this is your former head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. Check out our show, Inside the Huddle with Shane Matthews and Steve Russell, every Tuesday during football season on 8:50 a.m. and 98.1 FM WRUF at 10 o'clock a.m.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Pomodoro Cafe, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Aver and Smith Personal Injury Attorneys, Orange Theory Fitness, PRP Regeneration Specialist, and Dowling Signs. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, you can visit our website, potupwithshane.com, and click the advertise button or call Freddie at 352-284-3733. Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.
Hi there, everybody. This is Steve Spurrier, former University of Florida head football coach, and I've been blessed with a lot of things during my playing and coaching career here at the University of Florida. Lucky to win the Heisman Trophy way back in '66. We won the national championship in '96, and now we're bringing that same winning attitude to the restaurant game. In the spring of 2021, we're opening Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point right here in Gainesville. So we need the 5-star recruits at all the positions in the restaurant, from the front to the rear. And so if you think you got what it takes to make the cut and work for us, I invite you to have a one-on-one meeting and greet with our management team on Wednesday, November 11th at Hotel Indigo at Celebration Point. Learn all about our job opportunities with the restaurant. Now let me make this clear. We're only looking for the best of the best. So if you love your job and you love the restaurant business and want to be part of the most elite team here in Gainesville, then we want you to come and learn more about this experience. With your help and the best food, drinks, and services, we'll make Spurrier's Restaurant the envy of the Bulldogs, the Seminoles, the Vols, and everybody. So we look forward to seeing you November 11th, and we plan to meet at Hotel Indigo at Celebration Point. So go to SpurrierDraft.com, fill out the application, and we'll see you then. Take care and go Gators.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Don't forget, folks, Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. And tomorrow is Peachland Dentistry JC and the QB weekend picks. You don't want to miss that, folks. Also, tomorrow's program, as I said, it'll be JC doing our picks, but we'll have Buck Ballou. 40 years ago today, is when the Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship and he hit "Run, Lindsey, Run." Make sure you tune in for that. Today's show is a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Take care.